is Taylor and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here, and welcome to another video in my Bookmas little segment here on my channel this month. I said it in a different video, but I'm doing Bookmas, which I'm doing 12 days of book related videos every other day in December because I miss doing Vlogmas back when I used to be like a super consistent beauty guru on here. And I just feel like it'd be a really fun month to do this. So that is what we're doing, and today's Bookmas video is my November wrap up. So we're just gonna dive straight on in because we all know how wrap ups work at this point. Let's get into it. This is not in any particular order, but I am going to start with A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I actually literally finished this last night, so I'm filming this on December 1st. And I literally was like staying up all night. So I technically did finish this December 1st because it was like 2 a.m. But we're going to count it as November's read. This book was so amazing. It's obviously super hyped up and I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. I went in blind, which is one of my favorite things to do. And I just love Ryan. I love Crew. I love their dynamic. It was giving Gossip Girl vibes. It was giving Blair and Chuck vibes. I know a lot of people say like Magnolia Parks is like Blair and Chuck vibes, which like, you're right, because he is toxic in the show and he's not really toxic here as much. I don't know. I liked this way better than Magnolia Parks, to be honest. It was giving more of like a Gossip Girl vibe, and I literally can't stop thinking about this book like all day today. I'm just thinking about how cute, and like I really want to go back in and annotate it because I didn't know if I would like it enough to annotate it the first time. But I absolutely love this. I gave it 5 stars, and yeah, I haven't been into romances lately. I just have not been wanting to read any romance books, so I didn't even want to really pick this up, but I'm glad I did because I really loved it. Next, I read A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series, and I was really proud of myself. I'm so like still so proud of myself for starting this series. I do not read fantasy. These books intimidate the crap out of me because the font is small and they're like 700-800 pages, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I am reading it kind of slowly because I don't want to push myself to read fantasy if I don't like fantasy, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to burn out just to finish the series, but I did give this 5 stars. I like this way better than the first book. This was amazing. And I feel like I'm finally, I don't know, I think in 2023 I want to read some more fantasy series and just kind of expand, because I started off reading really just kind of like romance, then I got more into like thrillers, a little bit of just like plain old like, I don't know. So I'm just trying to like go through everything and find what I like, and I really enjoyed this book. Then for a book that I did not enjoy, The Dead Romantics, which I'm really sad. First of all, this cover is like so cute, and like I just love, we can all appreciate a good cover. I almost DNF'd this book, and the only reason I didn't DNF it was because I read like 75% of it, and I need to hit my Goodreads read goal this year, and I was like, this was 75% of a book that I can't get back. So I literally was just like, I feel bad, but I just hated this book, and I normally don't really hate books, but this was very weird to me. Like her love interest is a ghost, and like it was very insta-lovey, and it's just not my vibe. I think I'm just kind of maybe leaving my romance era a little bit. Like maybe that's why I didn't like it, but I just was not into this. It took me the whole month of November to read this. I think I started it like November 1st, and I literally just kept putting it back down all month long until I finally was like, you need to finish this so you can put it on your shelf and like get it off your nightstand where you have like all the books you're reading. So then we have Alone with You in the Ether. I'm so excited to get my hands on this freaking book. I heard so many people talk about how this is amazing and everything and blah blah blah, and when I went to buy it a few months ago, it was like sold out because I think they were like getting rid of the old cover, which I don't know why. I love the old cover so much more than this one, but I was not going to spend like $50 on the book just to get that cover, because they had it on like thrift books and stuff for like $100 and something, or not thrift books, but like Poshmark and like those type of things. Anyways, I went to Barnes & Noble on Black Friday, and they had it in stock for $30, so it was not on sale, and it was expensive, but I've been wanting it for so long. I paid $30 for it, and I really enjoyed this book. I read it in one sitting. I gave it 5 stars, but it's very different from what I've read before, and again, like a really good romance novel, but like it just like the writing was so different. And like, I don't know how to explain this book. I went and read like Goodreads reviews after I read it, and like half the people were like, I hated it but loved it. Like, and that's definitely how I felt. It's very weird to try and describe the way this book made me feel, but yeah. All the other books I read this month were on my Kindle, which I haven't read Kindle books in a really long time because I've been trying to just expand my library, and obviously every time I buy a book on my Kindle, it's not on my shelf. I don't know. But I do pay for Kindle Unlimited, so I was like, you have to, you know, read at least one book a month on here. And the reason I actually picked up the first book on here, which was Icebreaker, was because I kept seeing it posted literally everywhere. And this was in the beginning of the month, and I was like, I really don't want to buy more books. I have so many on my TBR list that I physically have. Like, I don't want to buy another one, and I already have Kindle Unlimited. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I can get it for free, like whatever. So I downloaded it. And it was okay. It was good. It was better than, I feel like, The Deal, which I just recently read too. But it was very smutty, very heavy on the smut. And I'm just like not that much, like I don't really like smut, to be honest. So not my favorite read, but it was also like a cute little romance story. So I don't know. But next up, baby. These books, they rocked my world. They did, okay? So I read 3 books by the author Frida McFadden. I hope that's how you say it. I have the covers pulled up on here because I do have the Kindle that like you have to like search for the covers. I'm just gonna pull up my phone. I heard about this author from Sarah Caroli, obviously. She was talking about like she loves Alice Feeney, which I also love Alice Feeney, and she was saying somebody recommended her buy the book The Housemaid. And it was in her vlog, but she hasn't read it yet. And I was like, oh, interesting. It's on Kindle Limited. Let me just read it, because I was taking a road trip for Thanksgiving. I drove home and it was like a 9.5 hour drive. And I brought my physical books with me too, but because it gets dark out at like 5, it's just kind of hard to read them in the car, especially with the booklet. It's like distracting to the driver. I don't know. So I was reading on my Kindle, long story short. And I had downloaded this and I was like, let me read it. I read it in like 2.5 hours, if that, maybe. I blasted through The Housemaid so quick. Loved it. I originally gave it 5 stars, but I went back and changed it to 4.5 because after I read more of her books, I was like, no, this is a 5-star. So The Housemaid is basically about this girl who is out of prison. She's just having a hard time. She's living in her car. She applies to be like a live-in house nanny, and she they kind of like lock her up in like an attic space where that's like where she lives, and she like gets to witness everything going on in the house, and there's just like a lot of family secrets, and it's just really good. It was definitely giving me like Verity vibes, but kind of like reverse, like almost like, you know, in Verity like it's showing it from like the girl who's living in the house, but like, okay, I can't say anything about spoiling it. It was just really good. Really enjoyed it. And then I just started downloading all of her books because they're all on Kindle Unlimited. So the next one I downloaded was Never Lie, and this was a 5-star. This book was so good. It definitely made it to my top 3 in thrillers. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I really can't explain much about it without like spoiling it, I feel like, but it was definitely like rock, paper, scissors mixed with Verity for me. Like, I am obsessed with it. It might be my #1 favorite thriller I've read this year. I can't say that yet until I go through every book I read at the end of the year, but absolutely loved it. And the third and final book I read by her was Brain Damage. Again, I was literally just downloading them without reading what they were about. This was okay. I gave this like a 3.5. I feel like if I read it without reading her other work, I would have liked it more, but because her other thrillers were so good, this one was kind of like anticlimactic for me. I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was still really good, if that makes sense. So I definitely will be reading a bunch more of her books in the future. There's a bunch on Kindle Unlimited, so anytime I'm reading off my Kindle, I'll probably just try and go through her backlist. I'm obsessed. Yeah, so she, like, I've literally never heard of her thrillers before, and I don't understand why, because they're so good, and I'm like obsessed with thrillers right now, even though it's like Holly Jolly season. But that is all of the books that I read in November. I had a really good reading month in November. A little fantasy, a little thriller, a little romance, like just a good mix of everything. I really enjoyed the reads of November. And if you haven't checked out my December TBR video yet, you have to, because it is very ambitious and we got things to do in December. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I left my camera in my car before I filmed this, and my camera actually just overheated, so I can't finish the outro on there, so we're switched to the iPhone, obviously, because she died. But like I was saying, that is it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm trying to post lots of videos in December. Follow my Bookstagram and my book talk and all of those things, and I'll see you guys in the next one.